Ladies and gentlemen, live from Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977 is Wednesday or Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for AEW Dynamite or Collision Event Center. And now here's the man that will bring you the happenings of AEW All Elite Wrestling action, Mr. Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, episode number 2501, and this is today's the 30th of August, 2025. And yep, I just talked about SmackDown on the last episode. Now we're talking about Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor. And what a pay-per-view that was. I ended up watching it, and it was an insane type of match. Almost, and a lot of great matches on the card, though. I think I talk about. Well, it doesn't hurt to talk about some Ring of Honor. So let's get to it, huh? Let's talk about some Ring of Honor. In the 0 hour, Jay Lethal went one-on-one with one of the fast-rising stars in the Indies, Jordan Oliver, and Jay Lethal ended up winning that match. Meanwhile, Lexi Nair interviewed the Sons of Texas, and then Sammy Guevara says he's excited about teaming up with Marshall and Ross Von Erich, and he said, and we'll get the tag team titles against, we'll get the 6-man tag team titles against Shane Taylor Promotions, and also Sammy Guevara says he's got a choice of who to choose against the Outrunners for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. So. And then there's a 3-way tag, the MXM Collection versus the Frat, that's Mason Madden and Mansoor. And then the Frat House, that's a team of Griff Garrison and Cole Carter, who should have been sleeping with the fishes, if you know what I mean. Get that joke. And also, the Dark Orders, Alex Reynolds and my favorite dude of the Dark Order, Johnny Hungy himself, John Silver, one of the funniest dudes ever. Fuck the F! What's my purpose? I like that he impersonated an impression of Brody Lee, which is hilarious. You better Silver! You better Silver! Ah! Well, I like John Silver. He's fun. There's one guy from the Dark Order I wanted to meet is John Silver. And I go, hey, Johnny Huggy, the meat man! I know Queen Lauren likes to talk about him on. She always says, oh, Johnny Huggy says hi. I'm like, Johnny Huggy, the meat man! I love John Silver. He's a funny dude. He's one guy I want to meet, though. He'll be like, hey, Johnny Hungy, you're the man. And then do the flex and pose him. He's hilarious. You see some of his stuff that the Dark Order does on YouTube. It's hilarious stuff, man, let me tell you. So, anyways. And so... and then they brought this new perfume called Seed. I'm like, what? And they did this commercial about it. I'm like... There's got to be... there was so many sexual innuendos in this little commercial they did about this perfume called Seed. I'm like, good Lord, what the bleep? You know what I mean? It was some of the weirdest things ever. It was so stupid. And then I think they tried to imitate Rick Martel. It's like somebody took Rick Martel and smashed him into 3 little pieces. And it came out to Mansoor, Mason Madden, and Johnny TV. Of course, they had Ty Alcor. So they were collectively known as MXM TV. I'm like, oh, good Lord. So, anyways. And then Johnny TV sprayed the Seed in Alex Reynolds' eyes. I can't believe I even said that. That is so... and MXM Collection didn't win the matchup. You remember, there's no disqualification in a triple threat match, guys. Blake Christian and Lexi Nair interviewed Jay Lethal after his win over Jordan Oliver. Then Blake Christian and Big Shotty Lee Johnson, a.k.a. The Swirl, interrupts Lethal and says, let's show it. We're going to show you what we can do with Ring of Honor veterans, the Kingdom. So, and then QT Marshall and Aaron Solo addresses Paul Walter Hauser, and Hauser responds to Marshall, or as I like to call QT Marshall, QT Fire Marshal Bill. One of these days, if I go to a live event and QT Marshall is there, I go, hiya kids, QT Fire Marshal Bill there. Let me say you something. Are Are you gonna sell us something? Fire Marshal Bill? You know, do my own Fire Marshal Bill impression. If I look at you, he goes, "You're a weirdo." I'm like, "Yeah, I am." But you're a butthead. Anyways, then the women's Pure Rules matchup, as you know, you're allowed 3 rope breaks. You cannot use a close fist more than twice, so you get disqualified. So, and you only allowed rope breaks 3 times. And so Ashley Vox from Rhode Island went up against Billy Starks, and Billy Starks did pick up the victory. Then there was a $50,000 4-way match of Dralistico representing the LFI, Adam Priest, and Helico, who represents the Spanish Announce Project, and AR Fox, and Dralistico ends up winning the match. And so he's got $50,000 to spend with his LFI brothers. And the main card, Smart Mark Sterling, which I had a picture with last year at the Teddy Good Show, addressing the Philadelphia crowd, introduces the premier athletes, and Hologram and Tomohiro Ishii went up against the premier athletes, Tony Nese and Arya Daivari, and Tomohiro Ishii and Hologram did pick up the victory in that matchup. Ring of Honor 6-man tag team titles on the line. Sons of Texas, Sammy Guevara filling in for the injured Dustin Rose, as the titles were held up against Shane Taylor Promotions, Shane Taylor himself, and the Infantry, Captain Sean Dean and Carly Bravo, with Trish Adora in their corner. And ladies and gentlemen, Trish Adora did get involved during the matchup, but ladies and gentlemen, we have new 6-man tag team champions. Shane Taylor Promotions wins the matchup and wins the belts. So was that it was a miscommunication between Sammy Guevara and the Von Erichs. Something's up. Well, I had a feeling something's up with that. So we'll find out. Women's Pure Rules matchup is Queen Amanada, who had had trouble in London, England, because she had all her stuff stolen, including the important documents. They ended up, I don't know if anybody's doing it for political reasons or what, I don't know, but I'm hoping somebody gives Queen Amanada back her stuff, or else he's gonna. If we find some of the stuff on eBay, I think that person whoever stole it is gonna get a pounding and a half or getting arrested with the law. I'm hoping that person, whoever stole from Queen Amanada gets karma in the way of being arrested, thrown in jail, and don't be disrespecting people like that ever again. So Queen Amanada took on Taya Valkyrie in the women's pure title quarterfinal. As you know, I'm going to put up the brackets for just a second. Not put up the brackets, but I will tell you who's in the tournament, and I'm going to try to use X. And let's see, for me, profile for me, and let's see, whoever likes. I love Mina Shirakawa. So let's see, where is it? Okay, here we go. Okay, so here's how the pure title does work. Now the quarterfinals, Queen Amanada facing Taya Valkyrie. And in the left side, Trish Adora will face of STP. We'll try to add some more gold for STP, as they already have the 6-man tag titles and the men's pure title held by Lee Moriarty, going against Deonna Purrazzo. Meanwhile, Billy Starks, on the other side, Billy Starks will face Olympia from CMLL, and Serena Deeb is going up against Yuka Sakazaki. So this was the first quarterfinal match between Amanada and Valkyrie, and Taya Valkyrie unwisely used up quickly her rope breaks, and Queen Amanada ended up winning the matchup. And then Deonna Purrazzo arrives after the matchup and gets face to face with Queen Amanada. Is she overlooking Trish Adora? That's not a wise thing to do if she's doing that. Lexi Nair tried to interview the Sons of Texas, the Von Erichs and Sammy Guevara, but nobody wants to talk to her. So I was like, okay, something's up. The Kingdom, another tag team that I got to meet and got a picture with, against the Swirl. That's Blake Christian and Big Shotty Lee Johnson, while the Kingdom is Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. And the Swirl ended up winning the matchup as Jay Lethal watches the match in the back. The Ring of Honor Pure title on the line. Lee Moriarty defended against Xiaohua, and in attendance, Xiaohua's father, Swat, was there, another legendary luchador. And Lee Moriarty did retain the title, and STP came out to celebrate after the matchup. So that means everybody's got gold, except for Trish Adora, who's trying to work on that with the Women's Pure title tournament. And then the Fight Without Honor, Paul Walter Hauser. Paul Walter Hauser versus QT Marshall, or as I like to call him once again, QT Fire Marshal Bill. Hiya kids, QT Fire Marshal Bill. Let's just say I'm going to punch this guy in the face, and all of a sudden he kicks me in the nads. I'm just a fire marshal. Anyways, during the matchup, QT Marshall grabs the microphone, trashes Paul Walter Hauser and the fans during the matchup. Aaron Solo Sikoa gets involved. Aaron Solo Sikoa. Imagine Aaron Solo and Solo Sikoa me. I'm Solo. No, I'm Solo. I'm Solo. No. And you have Harrison Ford goes, I'm Han Solo. You're Aaron Solo, and you're Solo Sikoa. Now, Aaron Solo, Bailey's former fiance, by the way, got involved, but then Hook comes out to even things up. So there you go. And fans give Paul Walter Hauser an ovation after the matchup. I thought Paul Walter Hauser was going to win because Harley Cameron could have come out and betrayed QT Marshall and Aaron Solo. Said, I quit GTV. Everybody would feel the wrath, but that didn't happen. So then, and then fans are chanting, "You're a wrestler," and even QT Marshall shook his hand after the match and gave him a pat and everything, and walks away. Well, code of honor. I like that. Meanwhile, tag team titles on the line. Sammy Guevara against the Outrunners, but his partner, Roosh. I'm like, oh boy, there'll be three people that I'm not going to like about that. Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erichs. Why would Sammy Guevara pick Roosh? And ladies and gentlemen, we have new tag team champions, Sammy Guevara and Roosh. But then the Von Erichs, Ross and Marshall, Kevin Von Erich's sons came out after the match and confronts them, and Sammy Guevara acts like he's taking their side, and all of a sudden he ends up kicking Ross in the face, kicking Marshall in the face, and Dralistico comes out to celebrate with Roosh and Guevara, and they all attacked him, and now Sammy Guevara is basically a member of the LFI. So I think if I were Dustin Rhodes, when he comes back from that knee injury, Sammy Guevara better give a good, perfect explanation from that situation. And if I were Dustin Rhodes, I would not trust Sammy Guevara anymore. And so Sammy is now joined up with Los Facción Ingornable. And I'm telling you right now, Dustin Rhodes is not going to be a very happy camper. He's got to be infuriated. Because he trusted Sammy Guevara. Dustin Rhodes did. Not very happy about that. He's not very happy about that. Seriously. That's Sammy Guevara's a jerk and a half. I don't know what Ty Mello sees in him. Anyways. But then they did attack the Von Erichs after the matchup. And then Von Erichs come back and they brawl with LFI, and then referees break it up. Lexi Nair interviewed the Outrunners. They were about to say something until STP interviews the Outrunners, calling them losers and all that. And the Outrunners kept it together. They weren't not in the mood to fight. So, after that. And then Don Callis, the hot dog-headed goofball that he is, screws up his Spanish and says, "Yo soy hechicero." He thinks he's Ricardo Rodriguez interviewing introducing Alberto Del Rio. What the heck? And so Bandito and Hechicero had a one-on-one match for the Ring of Honor World Title. And, and Don Callis, you diss my boy Bobby Cruz one more time, you're going to get smacked upside the head. And if Don Callis yelled at me and said, I'm going to kick your big old butt, I was like, how about drawing a line in the middle of your head so it looks like a butt? What? And I said, isn't that a movie quote? I said, yeah, Cool Runnings, 93. What are you, Goldust now? Shut up and go manage your boy to a loss. But then Bandito did retain the title against Hechicero, so Bandito once again a double champion. He's also one half of the AEW Tag Team Champions with Brody King as Brodito. Then the main event. The main event, Athena, only 7 days away from reaching 1,000 days as Women's World Champion, defends the title against my favorite lady from Japan, the Venus, the Love Bomb, the Ring of Honor interim Women's Television Champion, Mina Shirakawa. No Toni Storm. She wasn't in her, corner, which is very shocking, knowing that Athena had Billy Starks in her corner. But Billy Starks brought ECW legend, the Blue Meanie, and then the Blue Meanie wanted to dance with Mina, and Athena was not very happy about it. I think the Blue Meanie should come out with Mina Shirakawa and do the thing, and because he was doing that with Mina. That's what Mina should do. Next time she decides to fight, bring out the Blue Meanie and have them do the dance. Every time you hear Mina Shirakawa's theme song, reminds me of the Numa guy. Yeah, hey, yeah, Numa, hey. It's almost like the same tone, Numa, hey, Numa, hey, Numa. Like, it could be like, I remember some people wanted me to go on the internet and be like the Numa guy. Hey, you're going to be popular as the Numa guy. Like, Numa, hey, whatever. So, yeah. Billy Starks tries to get involved as well, but Mina outsmarts her. But in the end, though, despite what Mina's best efforts, Athena found a way. Hit Mina with the old face and retained the title. So that means Athena can reach 1,000 days as champion. She has 7 more days to do it. That means she has next Friday. So that means September the 5th is when she will be 1,000 days as champion. So, Mina Shirakawa, she fought hard. But hey, here's the upside. Even though Mina Shirakawa lost, she still got the Ring of Honor Women's Interim TV Championship, which she might defend. She's going to defend against Red Velvet, who's got the real title, and to unify the belts to crown an undisputed Ring of Honor Women's Television Champion. And I'm hoping to be Mina. So that's all the time we have on this episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans in 1937, episode 2501 of the show. Thank you for tuning in, and so tomorrow we got Card Sharks. Technically, later on in the morning, I'll probably get some sleep after I upload these videos. It'll be Card Sharks, and then later on tonight, we'll be having Collision. Plus it rained, too. It rained pretty hard. So I will see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful, blessed day. And until next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home. That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and Do It for Bob Saget production, and in association with a Raven Bofa 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.